without further ado, I would like to welcome to the stage Mr. Rahfeal Gordon.
Thank you. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Oh, y'all can do better than that. Good morning.
Good morning.
Listen, it's a lot of us in here this morning, so I'm gonna say it one more time. Good morning.
Good morning.
First and foremost, I wanted to say thank you so much for being here. Last night, and just getting right into me talking to you all, last night I was trying to figure out what to say, what to structure in my speech, and to figure out how to impact and empower you. But one of the things that came to my mind was the fact that I don't know who's gonna actually show up. I don't know what you look like. I don't know where you're coming from. I don't know the languages that you speak. I don't know your mom or your dad, your teachers. I don't even know the schools that you go to. But what I do know is that I'm showing up because I love you. Now, that may be something that you might not hear all the time from a speaker off the rip, off the first introduction, but I want to let you know that it's true. My entire life is to impact humanity as a whole. I dedicate my entire life to that, to develop entrepreneurs, develop leaders, to be a beautiful brother, a great friend, but just to be a beautiful human being in the world. And of course, at the moment, I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 15. Question for you, how many of you now are either starting a business or consider yourself an entrepreneur right now? Okay, just a few. So give you a little bit, some things that I've done so that you can be aware of some of the things that I've accomplished, but I'm gonna take you back for a short moment in this capacity. So currently, I pretty much won some of the top entrepreneurship competitions and won some of the awards in the world, from Ernst & Young Entrepreneurship Awards to even receiving the nominated for the NAACP Image Award as an author. At the time that I received my NAACP nomination, I received that with a friend of mine that I grew up with in high school. He was a couple of years younger, but his name was Michael B. Jordan. And some of you all know who that is as an actor. But during this time of him pursuing his movie career, he was in Prague, the country, and I was here in the States, and I was writing. And as he would share our ideas through Zoom, my idea was that how can I, at the time, starting a publishing company to write books, how can I impact the world? And our book was called Homeroom Heroes, because we were thinking about how we were in high school and how we could be considered heroes to those that we grew up with. Fast forward then, I end up writing a book every year, and I would write a book and then I would travel the world. Anybody here speaks more than one language? Anybody here speak Spanish? What else? Other languages does anybody else speak in here outside of Spanish and English? Oh, those are main two? Vietnamese, okay, beautiful. So as I would travel the world and meet so many beautiful people like you all, I had a chance to also understand that, again, love is a universal language. So even if, let's say, I go to Mexico, because that's also one of my second homes. A lot of my beautiful friends are from Monterrey. Are any of you familiar with Monterrey, Mexico? And so I traveled to Monterrey, Mexico. I've traveled to Chile, Santiago, Chile. I've traveled to the Canary Islands, to Oslo, Norway, to Munich, Germany, to Austria. I've traveled all across the world, to London, all the things. But yet, I could never imagine that here I am, that I'm standing here in front of all these people, including you, saying to you that my location was not my destination. Now, I want everybody to say that with me. Say, my location is not my destination. And it's not, because this time next year, you will not be where you are today. You will be a year older, a year wiser. You will have more friends. You will even have friends now that you will even have a stronger bond with. You will be even more smarter than you are now. And it's important for you to remember that quote as I share with you as a big brother, as a global citizen, because when I was growing up, it was a little bit difficult. I am the oldest out of 4 boys, and I had the opportunity to know what it was like to live homeless. And I mean, when I say that, like living in a car at the park, I would know what it was like to wear the same outfit 2 to 3 times out the week while I was going to school, trying to make sure and trying to figure out a way that no one recognizes that I had the same outfit on the day before. But it was humble beginnings because at that time, I was struggling. I was at your age trying to figure out who I am, making sure that I'm still like the cool kid with my friends and that I'm doing all the things. But when I would go home, it was a little bit of a struggle. But again, as I got older, I realized that my location was not my destination. Can I give y'all a story real quick? Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. And do y'all connect with me? Do you feel the love? Yeah. All right, beautiful. There used to be, or there once was, this chicken that lived in a small chicken coop. It was a small chicken that lived in a small chicken coop. But in that chicken coop, there were 99 other chickens. 99. So there was a total of 100 chickens. Each and every day, they would get up together. They would play together. They would eat together. They would run together. They did everything together. But one day, just one day, this one small chicken wakes up with an epiphany, a dream. And he was wondering, as he was looking up at the blue sky and he's looking around and realizes that the chicken coop is small, he goes, why am I here? Why is the sky blue and why is the sun so bright and yellow? So when he wakes up and he goes off to breakfast, he asks the other chickens that he's entertaining and playing with and growing up with, said, hey, why are we in this chicken coop? And they all reply, because we're chickens and we belong here. He said, but you never asked the question what was beyond this chicken coop? And he was like, you asking so many questions. We're chickens, we belong here. He says, okay, so he eats his food. But he notices that after they eat, they're still hungry. And he's like, why am I still hungry after eating the portion that we had? And they was like, don't worry about that. Every day that you wake up, you eat the same portion because that's what chickens do. He's like, but you don't feel hungry? You're not hungrier? And he's like, stop asking all these questions. Let's go for a run. So they all start to take off for a run, but he's noticing that when he looks back, that they're far behind in this small chicken coop. He's also noticing that when he runs, his feet is coming off the ground. And so everybody says, no, stop, come back. And he goes, what? I'm running at my normal pace. They're like, no, you're running too fast. You have to run at the same pace that we do because, see, here in this chicken coop, we're chickens. And we all eat the same portions, wake up at the same time, and we run at the same pace. And right before the next question came, he notices that there were 5 beautiful birds flying over the chicken coop. Not 100, not 99, not 50, not 10. It was only 5. And as the 5 fly over, all the chickens are going crazy. They're trying to find a place to hide, but where can you hide in this small chicken coop? But he is so amazed that he's just staring at the blue sky as the birds come over. But one of those birds, not all 5, just one flies down and says, hey, you, what are you doing down here? Hey, you, what are you doing down here? And as he's asking the questions, he goes, well, I'm a chicken. I belong here. This is a chicken coop. Like, this is where we hang. And he's like, but don't you feel like there's something more out this chicken? You never question? And he was like, I did, but they always told me stop asking the questions. He said, you never question why is the sky blue or why you run so fast? He said, I just noticed that I'm running faster than I normally would. And that one bird says that's because you're not a chicken, you're a hawk. But sometimes you don't realize it because you may be in a chicken coop mentally and surrounded by chickens physically that will make you believe that you are a chicken that you can't fly. Did y'all catch that? Many times, and a lot of you here are doing something in your school. You're thinking about, you're creative and you're young. And when I say young, in the sense of you're younger than I. So there's a couple of paths and a couple of walks that I've already was well seasoned in and that you're just getting seasoned in. And I want to let you know that as you are recognizing that your location is not your destination, that you're brilliant, that you're beautiful and phenomenal and dynamic, that you will always come across some people who have a mentality of a chicken coop. And sometimes if you dwell around people who have that type of a mentality, you will be amongst chickens in a chicken coop. But me, as well as the individuals that are here speaking and judging the competition, and your teachers and your administrators, all the individuals that take time to say, you're amazing today. Those are your hawks in your life. Those are the individuals that's gonna make sure that you get out of any chicken coop that someone wants to put you in. Now, mind you, I'm only here for a short period of time, but again, I come here to say that I love you and I wanna see you fly. The languages that you speak are amazing. Where you come from is amazing. Your family is dynamic. But also we realize is that in life, like with anything with business or entrepreneurship and even creativity, there's always gonna be trial and error. There's always gonna be something that you're gonna have to realize is that I need to always have a space to see how high I can go and how high I can fly and how far I can go. And to this morning, like I said, last night, I was sitting here writing a speech and trying to figure out what in this particular structure can I do? And one thing is for sure is that I just felt like, with all the changes and anything that happens throughout the day, we can't control the future. We can only control right now. And sometimes you just gotta be present, right? You gotta be present. And so in the midst of my drive up here, I said to myself, you know what I wanna do? I said, I wanna make sure that one, I'm as close to you as possible so that you can feel my energy, my love as a big brother, as a friend, as a global citizen, as your new advisor, maybe your Instagram, your Twitter, or your any of your TikTok friend, whatever that may look like, to be able to make sure that I'm connected to you, to keep giving you the inspiration that you need, even when I leave here. But I also wanted to make sure that if there was questions that you might have had or have in the midst of dealing with innovation or business or entrepreneurship, or just even the aspect of what are some things that you think that you can pick my brain on, I want to make sure that I share that with you to answer those questions and all the things that you are dealing with. Now, as I was thinking also too, what else can be the case? Like, what else can I share? What else can I do? Well, one thing that I do realize is that when we are at your age and dealing with innovation is that you're in a beautiful space to be a genius, to exercise your genius, to be innovative, and to understand that there's no limits to what you can do, none. And if anybody ever tells you that the idea that you have isn't of value, you prove them wrong by working on your idea. You prove them wrong by getting more and more advisors. There's a beautiful, wise, a wisdom, a proverb that talks about having great advisors is amazing. Most of the ideas that you may see in the world, things that have happened in the world, they always come to fruition because of two things. It's because of dedication, determination, and discipline to be able to make sure that whatever that idea is comes to fruition and it stays here for the rest of the time. Like, you gotta think about it. The chair that you sit on, the shirt that you wear, the makeup that you wear, the hair products that you use, the pens and the computers, the desk at school, everything that we have on is an idea from somebody. Like, think about that for a moment. Someone sat down one day and said, I wanna create a university. And we're living in that person's dream right now. We're literally having an experience in someone's dream. Someone literally dreamed about this place. That's innovation. Someone said, I like a particular dress that I would like to make. That idea, you don't know the person's specific name, you don't know how old they were, but all you know is that you like that dream and you're wearing it. Think about that for a moment. You're wearing someone's dream. You're experiencing me speaking in someone's dream. Is that deep? But that's also innovation. That's what the things that allow me to do and travel the world. See, the books that I've created, again, I have 20 books, right? So that means I've been on tour 20 times. And one thing that I did learn, and which I again share with you, is when you are creating something, and the more you invest in it, even if you're doing something which you want to go into a particular career, you're studying to be able to be the best at it or be good at it, what you'll notice that the more it becomes more refined and the better it becomes, the bigger the experience, the more things that come and it attracts. Same thing as you get older. As you're getting older, you're learning more things, you're starting to move in different spaces, you're talking in a particular way that's gonna attract certain people. It's gonna attract certain opportunities to you. And even if you don't get it now, trust and believe as you get older, it may click later, but trust and believe as long as you're investing in yourself with the friends that you have, the education that you're getting, the people who you have as your mentors, like those things and those people will help you be the best at whatever it is that you wanna be. Because again, we don't control the future. We only can deal with what we got right now and be the best at who we can be with what we have today. Sounds right? Sounds about right? How am I doing though? Am I doing pretty good? Okay. I'm not boring, right? I'm not boring. Okay. I'm gonna pause for a moment because I do enjoy sharing and pouring in, but is there any questions that you might have that I may be able to answer in the midst of some of the stuff that I've already spoke about? I got one, and I'll go to you next.
How old were you when you first left the country?
How old was I when I?
When you first left the country.
So that's a good question. So when I first left the country, I was.
And how did it change you?
Good questions. Fortunately and unfortunately. Unfortunately, I never had, fortunately, my first time out of the country, I was 16 years old. I went to Montreal, Canada. My grandmother paid for me to go on a class trip. I was, I don't know if you guys, do you have have a band in your school that some people can play like a certain instrument? So I went to Arts High School, which is the first performing arts school in the nation in Newark, New Jersey. I was an art major. The band, our French teacher was taking the French class to Montreal, and I was a part of the French class, so I went with the French class and the band. When I first went, it opened my eyes. The food that I've never tasted before, the sounds, hearing the majority of the people on the street speaking French, it wowed me. So that experience opened up my eyes. And even though I didn't travel out of the country until I turned, the next time was like 26, 27. So from 16 to that time that I actually started to travel to the next country, I always held on to that experience from as a 16-year-old going to Canada. Even though it was right next door, but it was out of the country. It's a different culture, different energy, right? And so I was blown away by just all the things that I learned. And I think ever since then, I kept telling myself, like, at some point, I'm gonna go out of the country. But the interesting thing enough was that my dream, and I keep this in mind, my dream, the thing that I held on the most and I made a decision to follow and chase is the reason why I'm going around the world now. I'm big on education. I believe education is the key to unlock everything. But my dream took me around the world. And because I stuck to it, it was like, I'm gonna be the most amazing, world-renowned orator, a person that just masters words and understands language and be able to shift cultures and create movements by when I speak is the reason why I'm able to advise world leaders and entrepreneurs. Like I went to the Nobel, and I don't know if you all know this, but I at the time, I was the only American at the time that was at the dinner the night before Malala received the Nobel Peace Prize. And then I ended up going to watch her in Oslo, Norway to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. And it was interesting enough, the first quote that she said at the dinner was a quote by Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. And I was there to witness history because I followed my dream to see what things are happening that we don't even have a clue of. And so, yes, so that was that experience opened me up. Did you have a question? Oh, I thought you raised your hand. Any other question? Go for it. So what kept me motivated? Twofold. So one, I lost a brother when I was 22, my younger brother. And our last conversation was that he would say, hey, Rah, I want you to tell our story because I believe that, outside of like the rappers and, folks of like that are celebrities, like they get a lot of attention, but a lot of us, why isn't there someone that went to the shelters or, got it from the mud, as we would say, why is anybody telling our story? Because there's so many people that was our age going through that. So and I told him, I was like, I'll definitely do it. And when we made the promise, he said that if you make it on television, I'll leave the streets alone, because he was in the gang and he was in these streets. And he died where I told him not to go, and like 2 months after I got on television, before I got on television. And so I always hold that conversation with my brother about telling our story and empowering young people and those who are trying to chase a dream or those who struggle and just trying to find a way out. And you got to understand that is motivation for me. But then also, as I got older and traveled, to see people tell me their dreams and their goals. And I realized that I have a huge responsibility and something that to be dedicated to, because I know, like, if I don't speak, if I don't come here, whether it's one person, 1,000 people, even if it's just one person, if I was asked to come here to speak and I'm doing this to be dedicated to my life to this, I have to, because if I don't know, like, if I don't do it, that person may not get the answer that they need, or I may be their inspiration. I may be the answer to their prayer. So for me, that motivation of like knowing that there's someone who's looking for me to give them what they need to do what they want to do. So that to me is just always, I wake up every day super excited. I go to bed mad sometimes because I want to stay up longer and my body can't do it. But if I could stay up for 24 hours and do this all day long, go around the world, impact, make projects, all those things, I would do it. But again, this is what my life is dedicated to, and that's what motivates me every day for it. Any other questions? I know y'all got more than one, more than two. Yes.
What was your first business? I forgot I had that song.
Oh.
What was your first business?
My first business was called Infinite Productions. I started it at 15 at Arts High School. It was a event planning company. What it was that we would go to the principal and ask them to do things like take us to the beach in the spring. We wanted to go on bus trips, and the school had limited budget. So me being who I am, the rebel that I am, and also one of the cool kids in the school, they would be like, well, Rob, could you help us make this happen? So what I would do is, I was like, all right, when the principal would be like, we don't got the money for it. I said, okay, but we do. I'll make it happen. So I had my friends to make a list of all the events that we wanted to do for the year. The ones that the school or the school board said that they couldn't do. And I would have everybody give me $20 each week for 4 weeks. And we had enough money to rent a cheese bus, as we call it, a yellow bus. We had money to get lunch for everyone. And if we had a friend, I had a couple of folks who weren't a part of the school system who I went to the Boys and Girls Club. So there was a brother there, I think his name was, what was his name? Looking right at him. But he used to be like, hey, if you ever need something, let me know. And I'm like, well, we need a yellow bus. And I know you drive the buses. So we would pay him $800 to take us to the beach twice a month for May and June. And that would be our class trips. Now, mind you, we had no chaperones. We just had the brother that would take us with the bus, and we had our food, and there was never an issue. And it was 50, the bus was we had, at the time too, we actually upgraded and got a charter bus, 52 passenger. Now, mind you, I'm 16, 17 years old, leading these events through my business. And it got to the point where, but my first event through that business was a bake sale. And again, grandmas are amazing. How many of y'all got an amazing grandma? Some of y'all got, grandparents are amazing, but it's something about a grandma that's just and so my grandmother was like, baby, if this is your business, I'm going to be your first investor. So she's like, what you want to do? I was like, well, we love Edamame cakes. So she's like, we're going to take you to the Edamame factory and get you these cakes. And we got a bunch of cakes, and the first amount of money that I made was $120. I thought I was balling. was $120. But that was like the first experience in my first business. And I held on to that business. I actually closed it in when I turned 33, 34. That business launched all the businesses that I have now. So yeah, all those businesses that I have now started from that one business. I held it on through college, through all the big events in college. I got to the point where I went to Montclair State University in New Jersey, and then I did some extended courses and studies at Harvard. And when I was at Montclair State University, my events became so big, because I believe in love, to like love everybody. My events became so big that the president of the university banned me from throwing any events on the campus. I was like the P. Diddy of my campus. And so they banned me from throwing parties, but they allowed me to create projects that will be able to happen when I was gone. So right now, Montclair State University has merged with Bloomfield College, which was a sister, is now part of the university. But I had two chapters. I started a nonprofit on both of those campuses. And to this day, my organization that I founded is the largest organization the largest running organization since I left at the university, developing leaders. And so there's been thousands and thousands of students that have gone through the organization that I've never met, but I was told it's been many, many students that have love about the school spirit and the things that I've done, which again, in essence, to the first business. Yes.
It's very clear that you have an entrepreneurial spirit. But I see up here, NFTE alumni, global award-winning entrepreneur. And so what was your first NFTE experience? I mean, this is their first experience.
Oh, it's your first, okay.
How did NFTE kind of change your life or give you that push?
Okay, so here's my first rule before I share. Do not, when you are part of NFTE, take advantage of NFTE's experience. Take advantage of the resources, any of the competitions, if there's ways and ideas that you have, if you got matched up with an advisor or a mentor in NFTE, even the chapters that are outside of where your school system is and state, because there's so many amazing alumni that came through NFTE that are older and younger, but they've done well. My first experience with NFTE, I was still in my teenage years, but I didn't get a chance to do it. When I got out of high school, I was exposed to NFTE because there was a neighboring program that was using the NFTE curriculum. And so my first experience was actually a business camp. So I was applying for a competition with my business, Infinite Productions. And they ended up, I won one of the competitions, and they allowed me to go to New York for a week, and we had this advanced business camp. So for me, it was we were the cream of the crop entrepreneurs, and we would spend all day building out our business plans. And every day they would give us a speaker that would come in, like myself, to come in and talk about their business. I think after that, they gifted me a laptop, which was my first actual computer, which was amazing. And then they gave us a financial reward. Then I applied for, I think it was the global entrepreneurship competition. I ended up getting featured, and they took us, I don't know if it's the collective, everybody goes to New York and they have the big award. Let me tell y'all something. That award, if you ever get to do the competition and you win or just want to experience it, it's like going to the Grammys for entrepreneurs. It's I don't know, I should tell them, it's like being part of the Mickey Mouse Club and, I don't know, whoever the celebrities that came out of the Mickey Mouse Club, but it's literally a beautiful experience. And I won, they got me featured. I got actually endorsed by a lot of people from Wall Street. The network is beautiful. And then they give you financial seed money for your business. And so that was my first experience. And then over the years, I competed, I connected with and worked with other alumni. But NFTE is an amazing organization that I think that, again, if you are thinking about a business or wanting to create one, even if you just got an idea, that you should definitely, share it with somebody from NFTE, because especially for those who consider your advisors or your teachers, they can tap into the network to help find someone that can help you. Like I'm an NFTE alumni. So when you see me, it's actually seeing yourself, because at some point you're going to be doing this, coming to another school or another country, speaking about your business. And I've met a lot of amazing people through NFTE because of that. So this is all of your first time. Anybody got a business that they're working on now? What's your business, if you'd like to share? What's the name? What? Clothing.
Yeah.
How long have you had it?
I'm basically starting it, so like I need a lot of advice and stuff. So like I'm reading some books.
Okay.
And my dad is helping me out because before he had a business, but he stopped that and he started doing engineering.
Okay. So it runs in your blood. Your dad was an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yep. So okay. And what's been the best experience thus far? Because I know it could be, starting a business is always ups and downs, but what's been the best thing thus far?
About the business.
Yeah, about starting it.
I mean, being creative, that's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure. And you just started it this year?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You gotta keep me posted with it though. All right. Anybody else working on a business? Starting something? No? Okay. Okay. And again, I'm here for a moment, but I want to make sure, again, is there any questions? Because you can ask me, because otherwise when we connect, we can definitely connect after, because I'm going to be here for a while. But again, is there any additional questions that you might have? Yes.
How do you get connections with like people? Like, how do you start a conversation with someone if you want
To connect with them, the partner. So if y'all didn't hear what she said, she asked about, how do I connect with people, pretty much the networking aspect. And for me, I'm a people's person. Sometimes you gotta understand, like as an entrepreneur, you're gonna have to meet with people and talk to folks, even if you may be an introvert, or you can connect with people to work with you with your business or your idea who may be extroverts, right? They may really be social. So one is, I always say that it's always good to like just connect. Even if you want to pull someone to the side and have a conversation, if something that I said kind of moves you, or you feel like I have a good idea for you, or could be a good resource, even like afterwards, you can have a private conversation with someone. I do think it's also cool, like sometimes we don't use business cards as we used to, but it's good like if you have a LinkedIn or create a LinkedIn page for someone that, if they're much older, they probably are definitely heavy on LinkedIn. But if it's someone that's like, high school, or if someone's like around your age and they just kind of do stuff on TikTok or whatever, like hit them in a DM, say, hey, I love your idea. I'm working on something. I would love to see if we can merge, have a conversation. Or is there a way we can get on a Zoom or FaceTime? I think those are like really good ways, because that has worked with me now, because there are folks who are, whether, my age or younger, like we do a lot of conversation through DMs. And so like I send something on the comments, like I recently met with a young lady who is a great writer. She lives in Canada, and we connected through just having a comment on Instagram over something that we seen about a book being created. And so I was like, what you're doing is amazing. And when she seen my page, she sent me a DM saying, I don't know how we can connect, but I would love to do a writing session with you. And so it all started from just interacting on the social media. So that's also a great way. Especially if y'all don't have a rapport, like if y'all don't know each other, it's always good to kind of just start to like leave little comments, so that way they know that you're supporting them and like what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Anything else? Okay. Well, I want to just, again, I know we have a full program, but again, I just want to make sure that I was able to be one to pour into you, and make sure that you're aware that, again, you're amazing, you're dynamic, and I just really hope and pray that many of you go off, in the world. If you're not traveling yet, to start traveling at some point, whether with your parents or, do some type of amazing global project or initiative that will be able to help you become a global citizen. Because in this day and age, too, don't be limited to just, where you are in your city with your business or your idea. We use a global platform. We use social media. We use the Google. We use Chat GPT, all the things. So make sure you be aware that just because you may not have the resource where you are does not mean that you don't have access to other places in the world, when everything can be done right on your phone. And so many young people are really, really doing amazing, amazing, amazing things. And why would you be left on the wayside and not be in that same conversation? Right? Cool? All right. So the same way that I came in, it's the same way I want to leave. It's like I said, good morning, but what we're going to do is I love energy. So on the count of 3, we're going to act like this whole place is going crazy. I don't know if y'all watch football, like the Colorado game, like everybody's going crazy. So on the count of 3, I want y'all to make noise for you and for your dream becoming a reality. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. So again, I'm Rahfeal Gordon, one of the greatest international orators and business advisors that come out of America to show individuals all over the world how to make their dream a reality and to impact humanity in a positive way. I'm your brother, your friend, your mentor, if you want me to be, and now, just a cool person that you know. So thank y'all for listening.